subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
What's going on, buddy?
Nigga done brought a
No, we answered the question.
team out here.
Obviously, he doesn't live here.
The reason why I asked you to live here is a private community, so if you don't live here, you need to leave. So if you live here, you're visiting a friend, that's fine, just let us know, because you're getting neighbors concerned since you're walking around my house. I'm not walking around your house. Hold on, Steve. You've been past my house 4 times, I don't know you, I've never seen you here before, and you're walking past my house over and over again. So if you live here or you have a friend you're visiting here, that's fine.
I'm not in front of your house.
You're actually following me.
You went up the wrong way. We're just asking a question. You live out here?
I'm a part of the neighborhood.
You're part of the neighborhood? Does that mean you live here? It's simple.
Like, bro, what?
I'm asking a question. You live here? You went up to my wife.
Bro, I didn't go up to your wife, bro. I don't know who you talking about. For real. And I think I can walk around my neighborhood.
If you live here, yeah. So you live here.
Like,
You live here?
you gonna keep asking me the same question over and over and over and over and over. This man following me. This is harassment, right?
You haven't answered yet.
That's harassment, right? That's harassment, right?
I think what you did to my wife, yes.
Look. He followed. You read it up.
Glad to have everybody in here. Everybody come on through. Let's chop it up. Ladies and gentlemen, hope everybody's having a good week so far. What is going on, everybody? Everybody give us a nice retweet the live. Let everybody know that we are live right now, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have you guys in here. Excuse me. If you are not following and subscribing to my YouTube channel, which is Tariq Radio, you guys need to be doing that right now, ladies and gentlemen. Go to YouTube and go to my Tariq Radio channel. That's where you can hear the playbacks of some of these Twitter spaces. All right. Before we get started, let me shout out some of the regulars. What's up, Melrose? We see Sister Wani Spots in the building. We got Mr. Nas Escobar. We got Nikki the God. We got Brother Robbie Blue. Shout out to the regulars. Now let's get into what we're talking about. Maroc, I see you down there, player. Family, did you guys see the videos? The video coming out of Florida, it was Sarasota, Florida, of a young black male who was being severely harassed. Now, from what I understand, this was directly after the Hurricane Milton, the day after. And I'm using black male in quotations because it's Florida. The guy could be an immigrant. He could be Caribbean. I don't know. He could be. I don't know. But aesthetically, he looks like a black male walking down the street getting racially profiled. Some people were concerned about what his background was. That's, those are valid concerns, but nevertheless, this is something that we do have to learn from and how to protect ourselves from it in case we get in a predicament like that. There's certain protocols that we need to learn how to take, and we need to still take away from this because we need to understand how the white supremacists work and how they operate, regardless of that, the guy's lineage or not. We have to understand how these white supremacists operate and how they get down and how we need to counter that. In the video, the guy was walking in a nice neighborhood, and boy, these white supremacist suspect males just started pulling up, like 4 or 5 of them just pulling up. Where you going? Why are you here? What are you doing here? Tell us why you're here. And the guy, I don't know if he's a teen, he's younger. He's either late teens or early 20s. He was like he was filming. You can see he was nervous, but he was kind of laughing it off. He was just casually walking. He didn't give them any information, which was good. as black people, as you're not obligated to give random suspected white supremacists any information. You're not even obligated to give a damn cop information, to be honest. You can just tell them your name and all that. And um, if you're driving, you provide ID. You don't have to tell a cop where you going. I want black folks to understand this is why I want y'all to learn. This is a learning experience. You don't have to tell no white person who randomly walks up on you, cop, civilian, or otherwise, what your plans for the day are. You don't have to explain that. Hey, what are you doing here? Minding my business. If a cop asks you that, you're not obligated to tell him what you're doing. Okay, if I committed a crime, let's go ahead and get with the crime. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to remain silent until I get legal counsel. Y'all got to learn how to just keep your mouth shut. I will commend the guy in the video. He didn't give him no information, which was good. It's very good. You don't have to give information to people. In fact, less is more. When they're asking you questions, especially if you're dealing with a race soldier, what they're trying to do, they're trying to find a justification to harm you. So any answer you give, it's not going to help you. You understand? Any answer you give is not going to help you. They're looking for a reason to justify harming you. Now, in this video, the young brother was just walking around and filming himself and filming all of these white supremacist suspects pulling up on him. And one guy pulled up, a guy named Steve. They kept saying the name Steve, and there are some people online who kind of identified him. They gave his last name. You guys can look that up on social media. This guy pulled up and pulled a gat out. This guy pulled up, jumped out his car, and got his gun. And the other suspected white supremacist was like, "Oh, no, 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 Steve, no, 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 no." They had to calm this guy down. And this is just a brother walking around in the neighborhood. Now, from what I understand, from what his mother posted, the young man's mother, she said this was right after the morning after Hurricane Milton, because they just had the hurricanes down there. The power was out at the house and they didn't have good reception. So he just kind of, from what she said, her son stepped outside. He was just on the phone with his girlfriend because they had better reception outside. So the white supremacists are pretending that he was out there casing the neighborhood. That's the go-to. They always project this weird criminality. Same thing they did with Ahmaud Arbery. He's out there jogging, and they're like, "Oh no, he wasn't jogging. He was casing the neighborhood." Same thing with Trayvon Martin. Remember, their whole thing was he was casing the neighborhood. That's a code word that these white supremacists use. They project this criminality onto black people who are in quote unquote their neighborhoods so that they can criminalize you or act like you're a suspect of a crime in order to justify harming you. Just your presence and your melanin makes you suspected of a crime. I'm white and I say so. And we need to learn how to navigate around that. We have to learn how to navigate around that and really, really be codified. There's some lessons that we need to learn from these interactions. We about to be in 2025 and we're still getting into situations like this. We got to get on code so we can thwart and alleviate these types of interactions on our own damn terms. We have to do this shit. We can't really depend on the dominant society. We should have been had a hate crime law or bill a long time ago. We should have had a hate crime bill a long time ago. I think when the Democrats lose this election, I think we'll possibly get one. See, we need to start gearing up for 2088. So when the Democrats lose, and they'll know why they lost, they'll get some damn act right for 2028. But until then, we need to start getting on code with our behavior so we can alleviate these type of situations where black people are very vulnerable, especially when you're by yourself somewhere, because that's when the white supremacists like to pull up on you. Now, some lessons that needs to be learned from the video, and if you follow me on social media, you see my Twitter feed, you can see the video for yourself. What we have to understand, black people, especially young black people, this is what y'all need to understand, because the guy's mother She looks like she's probably in her 40s. She looks relatively young herself, but she does a lot of thirst trapping on her page. So let's get into let's have a real conversation here. His mom, hey, sorry about that, guys. Hate when I go live and my phone start ringing. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. So the mom, she's doing a lot of thirst trapping on her page. So them thirst trapping moms ain't really giving up the game like they need to until there's a dire situation. All right. Y'all need to be letting your young folks know, especially young black males, know what the deal is out here and let them know what the environment is out here. Just can't be walking around all willy-nilly if you are a young black man, especially if you live in a mixed or predominantly white neighborhood. You just got to be careful. You got to be on alert. And also, you better understand during a natural disaster, the white supremacists are super, super hypersensitive and they are super on alert racially during or directly after a natural disaster. They go on high alert. Why do they go on high alert? Because the white supremacy is predicated on a system, on an entire system, and people running that system in order for it to be maintained correctly. There's a whole system and network of white supremacists all working hand in hand, maintaining this system. Because the system is built on a lie, that system is very fragile and they know it. That system can tumble apart at any moment. So it's very important that there are no chinks in the armor in that system. When there's a natural disaster, there's a breach in the system because now the white supremacists who use law enforcement as their personal bodyguards, because that's what they do. The dominant society, they use police as their personal bodyguards to go do the dirty work for them. That's why they support them to go after and attack black people when white people feel uncomfortable or they feel agitated. That's why every time they interact with a black person, oh, I'm going to call the cops guy. I'm going to call the police buddy in hopes that the police come with guns blazing, which a lot of times they do. In which a lot of times they do. There was a situation, I forgot what city it was in, that a white dude who was a suspect, he did something, and the people called the police, and the cops walked up to the white boy. He was like, yeah, it wasn't me. It was that black guy over there. He's the real suspect. Then the cops ran and jumped on the black dude. I think was it that disabled brother? I want to say it was a brother who was disabled. The brother was cerebral palsy and he was deaf or something like. I think it was that situation. It was one of those situations where this white guy who was a suspect, he just pointed out a random black guy and the cops ran and just gaffled up the random black guy. So they understand their own code as far as that. The white supremacist civilians, their own code with the white supremacists within law enforcement. And they have this little understanding, hey, if we point out and accuse a black person of a crime, you're just going to go along with it and do what you need to do. And even in this situation, from what I'm understanding, the situation that happened down in Florida, the Sarasota police, they said they investigated and said there was no crime committed, which it was clearly a hate crime. And one of the guys drew his gun, which is illegal in Florida. But again, it's I'm white not say so. It's basically the I'm white not say so law. But like I said, you better be careful during natural disasters, especially, down in, remember Hurricane Katrina? The white supremacists were out there sniping black folks. You had Sean Penn out there on a boat with a gun and all of this stuff. They go on high alert. They use that as an opportunity to start picking black folks off. They get very sensitive during natural disasters because there's a breach in that system. And they're projecting their fear that black people are going to use that as an opportunity to get some get back and some comeuppance. So they're very, very hypersensitive about that. They're very hypersensitive about what they've done. They understand that they've committed all types of injustices. So the white supremacists, even without a natural disaster, they're very much on alert all the time. If you have a Ring app, I got the Ring app, and the Ring app will tell you what's going on in the community and what's being reported and certain activities in the community. And where I live, we get a lot of Ring app notifications about, coyotes and stuff. But anytime the white people in our area, they hear any sound, they hop on Ring. Oh my God, is that a gunshot? Oh God, if an apple fall on the ground, oh God, is that a gunshot? Did you hear gunshots? Is it me or is it gunshots? A car backs up. Oh God, is it gunshots? Are those gunshots? Did you guys hear it too? So they're hypersensitive. They're very, very on alert about everything. So understand, during a natural disaster, you better be very, very vigilant. You better be on code, and you better understand how to move and shake and not be in danger. And again, um, parents, y'all got to stop thirst trapping and let these kids know, let your boys know, especially what's going on out here in these streets. It's not sweet out here. The white supremacists are very much on alert. Their numbers are dwindling. They are hoping to get this society in what's basically the equivalent of an apartheid state, where they're going to be ruling and dominating as a minority. So they're very sensitive about Black people being in what they deem as their area. See, they like Black folks. They're comfortable with Black folks cornered off somewhere, out of sight, out of sound. That's why you go to a lot of cities, you don't really see too many Black people. Black people are, pretty much on that side of town. You don't really see Black people in the main parts of a lot of major cities like you used to. Well, in the South, you do, in certain parts of the South, but outside of the South, you really don't see a lot of Black people in the major parts of the city. They just have Black people marginalized and cornered off somewhere. Yeah. So when you see a Black person in what they deem their neighborhood, they go on high alert. And another thing that we noticed in the video that's very important, ladies and gentlemen, notice how all of those random white dudes immediately came to each other's aid at the drop of a hat. In the video, they just start pulling up within like minutes. Just random white men within that neighborhood, they started pulling up immediately. All right. Because this innocent Black male is just walking around talking on the phone. So they all pull up in droves. Let me tell you something. We need to learn from that. We need to start doing that, family. Black folks need to start doing that. If there's a situation where a Black person is in danger, start pulling up, just like they do. We need to be ready to pull up at any damn moment. All across the country, anytime a Black person is in danger, we need to start pulling up. I will commend Los Angeles. LA is very good for that. I will commend LA. LA is good for that. I've had situations, and I talked about this before, where I've been pulled over. I was pulled over in North Hollywood one time, and I made a wrong turn or whatever, but I was on the main street. I was on Lancashire, and the cops had me pulled over, and then random brothers started pulling up and walking up, like, "Hey, man, everything good?" Yeah, F these police. But yeah, random brothers started just pulling up on GP. They saw a Black person pulled over, so they just came through to make sure everything was good. We need more of that. Well, that's what the Black Panthers used to do. That's what the Black Panthers used to do back in the 60s up in the Bay. They would make sure that, hey, these police stops, it ain't going to be nothing crazy. That's why they were very, very sensitive about the Black Panthers. That's why they said, oh, we got to get rid of them. See, that's the thing. You don't have to have a group or an organization. It shouldn't be just an organization. Everybody should be on that vibe. If you see somebody in danger, don't just pass by. If you see some danger, and if somebody's broadcasting live and they seem like they're in danger, if you're in that area, everybody needs to act as an internal Uber and go make sure that that black person is cool. If there's a group of white supremacists harming somebody in your neighborhood and somebody's going on live, go check on them and make sure they're good. And black folks, if you're in danger, be serious. Understand. Start giving addresses where you are. That's another thing. If you are somewhere getting gaffled up by some of these white supremacists, because you are in danger. Let's be clear. The white man pulled a gun on this guy. He could have blew him away. They could have did another Ahmaud Arbery on him. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they did to Ahmaud Arbery. They saw him and hunted him down. And then they all got on code and tried to lie about it. Remember? They all got on code and tried to lie about it. We started investigating and we started putting two and two together. We started to see how the prosecutor was clicked in with some of the guys, and we started exposing all of that. And then everybody had to come clean. Then it all unraveled. It has to be grassroots. Remember, with Ahmaud Arbery, those race soldiers and those suspected white supremacists were prosecuted because of the grassroots. We were on the bumper of those people. We had to do our own investigating. We had to go and say, hey, all of these people are clicked in with each other. They're all clicked in. The prosecutor, that's the shooters, that's her buddy. They all know each other. Hey, this is a conflict of interest here. This is a problem. You see? So we have to start pulling up, making sure that folks are good when situations like this pop up, because the white supremacists, they all pull up on each other and make sure they're good immediately. You see? Cats got to be alert, man. We got to put some of the weed pipes down. Let's put some of that lean and some of that drink down. We can't be all zooted out of our minds. We got to understand what's going on in these communities and protect ourselves, because and protect your kids. That's another thing, man. We got to protect the kids out here. We got to protect the young people out here. We got to make sure people don't get hemmed up like that. And also, you got to understand, down in Florida, they're double sensitive down in Florida. They've always been double sensitive in Florida, because the white supremacists, they got long memories. They don't forget nothing, and they don't forget when they take L's. And the white supremacists, they remember taking an L in Florida. Black people gave them a major L in Florida during the 1800s, during the Seminole Wars, and even before that. The white supremacists took a major L down in Florida because you had a small group of black people out there beating the brakes off the U.S. Army. And they don't like taking L's. That's why they keep spanking on Haiti, because they took an L um, during the late 1700s, early 1800s with Haiti. Haiti gave them an L, and they've been punishing Haiti ever since. They try to do the same thing with Florida. When you have those black people and those black Seminoles down there whooping on all of them white supremacists, beating the U.S. Army, burning down plantations. Most of the plantations in Florida were burned down by the black Seminoles. They were burning them down and freeing everybody. They were beating the brakes off them white supremacists down there, to the point where the U.S. government had to put up a white flag and say, hey, man, why don't y'all just go on leave? We ain't gonna trip. Y'all just go on out west, man. All right, our bad. Y'all just going out to the west. We got Oklahoma. We'll just go on out there to Oklahoma and leave us alone. They don't want to. They don't like to admit that they took an L. So low key, they've been trying to punish those folks ever since, especially down in Florida. They're very sensitive about Florida. Let me get Nikki in here. Sister Nikki in the building. What's up, Nikki? How are you, beloved? What's up, Nikki?
Hi, Tariq. How you doing? Real quick, it's funny you mentioned his mom, thirst trapping and how parents need to communicate with their children and prepare them for what is happening in their surroundings. I
Mhm.
noticed that the son did not seem to be the best prepared. Yes, he did pick up his phone and record, which was a good thing. So he did have enough sense to protect himself and document what was happening, but he seemed surprised that those people would do this to him, and he seemed to start breaking down instead of staying focused. So
Yeah,
we need to have talks with our children at home and let them know that the enemy is among us. Also, I personally, I would have called 911 if I was alone, and I would have pulled out my trusty Ogun juice or
yeah,
possibly something else. Um, Also, since you're talking about Hurricane Katrina and how they were pulling out rifles on people, I don't know if you remember the group of prisoners who were sitting on a freeway and the sheriffs had their rifles pointed at them. I never found out what happened with that situation with those prisoners. Some people are saying they don't know what happened to those prisoners. Do you know what happened? That's all I want
Yeah,
to know.
yeah, there were several stories about how just thousands of people just disappeared and were unaccounted for after Katrina. Prisoners unaccounted for. There were several stories about that down during Katrina. There's a lot of foolery that went on down there, man. Real heavy stuff. Um, okay, this guy right here, the hard black truth. Dude, this okay. Let me get this troll on here. Shout out to Red Joker has been crushing this dude right here. The hard black truth. The Red Joker has been clowning this dude. Hard black truth is a Haitian tether, and what's up, hard man? You've been getting just flamed by Red Joker, man. Why is he flaming you so hard?
Because I'm still blacker than him and it hurts his feelings. So I let him have fun,
Oh,
makes him feel good.
it's funny. It is funny though. So what's on your mind, hard black truth?
Well, I heard Sister Nikki and I know she's doing her fangirl stuff, but I did want to say during that Katrina, the people that really took the biggest brunt, aside from black folks, were the special needs folks and the black special needs folks on top of that. They were
Okay.
left, they were stranded, they were unaccounted for. So since I came in here and that's what I heard, I did want to level that tidbit to you guys. But I see it's a gentle, nice room. So tether love to you guys, Tabusi, and you have a good day.
There you go. All right. Yeah, Red Joker's been killing this dude because the dude, he looks funny. Where's Red Joker has been just crushing this dude because this dude looks like a koala bear with a little fro. So Red Joker's been just having a field day on this dude. So what's up, Saleh?
Yeah, Sali. Yeah, thanks, man, for letting me on. I just want to say something real quickly, man, as an encouragement, to black men and in the black community. Look, they woke a sleeping giant, and they got a serious problem, and they have no clue what to do. But they have awakened a sleeping giant, and I'm out with that one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me get let's get my sister Kenny. Let's get Kenny, the lovely Miss Kenny. Let's get Kenny, then we'll get Val, then we'll get Brother Terrain. Sister Kenny, how are you, dear? Kenny?
Hey Tariq,
Hey, dear, how are
I'm doing good. Hey Black family, and thank you for letting me on.
you? Absolutely.
I Yes, I just wanted to say, yeah, I'm here in Florida. I'm actually in Tampa,
Okay.
and it's really, well, it's a little bit better now, but it's still pretty dangerous. So even the next morning when things are, when you're in daylight, it was still pretty dangerous. So, and again, my heart goes out to the young man for having to go through that. But just as a note, like during hurricanes, you can't just go walking through the neighborhood because you don't know what's there. You can
Yeah.
barely even really go out and drive because with all the trees down and everything, it's just really dangerous. And I've actually seen people walking around at night with no lights. And I'm like, these people must really not know what's out here or who could be, just waiting for them.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then there were, with a lot of people leaving and evacuating areas, Ron DeSantis was saying that, um, with Florida being a stand your ground state, anyone trying to break into homes or whatever, you never know what's on the other side of the door. So that
Mm.
right there kind of could have been a whistle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was him sending the dog whistle to his white supremacist constituents. So yeah. So yeah, he's a part of the problem too down there, that damn DeSantis. So that's why, look, hey man, you got a God-given right to life. Damn whatever they say, you protect yourself at all costs, man. You protect yourself, you protect your family. And you don't have to wait on no law. A law, hey, they want to have a law, that's fine, but hell, you can protect your damn self. If your life is in danger, your loved one's life is in danger, you handle that business. Brother Terrain, hop on.
What's good, Tariq? Afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I'm originally from Florida. I grew up in Duval, Jacksonville. And
Okay.
I've got some experience with like how things move after natural disasters and whatnot. As a matter of fact, I got my family actually lives down in the Tampa area, some of my extended family, and I plan to go down there to
Yeah.
help them out because they got some slight damage in a little bit. But I want to say this: people don't really understand, man, that natural disasters or any kind of catastrophe for white people like that, they live for things like that because that's the closest thing they can get to like national emergency conditions. And there is a
Yeah.
whole generation, maybe two, three generations deep of white men who are survivalists who have this mentality that they're going to have to defend their household from the dark hordes and everything. And I'm not exaggerating. That's the language they use. You
Oh yeah.
remember the movie Tremors? Remember the white couple that had all them guns and stuff? There's
Hmm.
people who really live like that, who really believe like that. And I think what has to happen is black people got to get out of this idea of just thinking you're going to vote your way out of this. Voting is important, and I'm not taking anything away from politics because people have been screaming at me about that. But you also go have to get into self-defense like the Panthers were doing and the Deacons for Defense. People need to learn about the Deacons for Defense, these brothers who came back from Korea in World War II, back in the day where you could bring home your weapon with you, and they were defending their neighborhood from the Klan. And there was a
Yep.
battle that happened in South Carolina where they actually shot it out with the Klan and put some of them in the dirt, but they don't really talk
Oh
about that
yes.
in the history books and everything. And we're gonna have to get back to that.
Yes, indeed, man. Thank you so much, brother. Yes, sir.
Root work, feel that natural flow. Root work, stay fresh wherever you go. Root work, I like the way it feels. Root work, the magic is so real. Root work, you need it for work or play. Root work keeps me fresh through